All right, so this time is talking about INFP in MBTI that could get crossed over to Socionics. So, what are some other types where INFPs might suddenly become something else? So, there's some obvious things, right? Some stuff that even correlates well with MBTI. So, INFPs can suddenly find themselves becoming ESIs, which is another FI DOM. In Socionics, that would be the ISFJ from Gamma Quadrant. So that's an obvious one. Another very likely one is INFPs and INFJs getting mixed up for one another, as also often happens in MBTI land. The same can happen here. An EII can get mixed up with the IEI. So EII is the FI dominant with NE, and IEI is the NI dominant with FE. All right, so those can sometimes on a superficial level also get confused. And then another type that somebody who's an INFP and MBTI could potentially look like or be thought of in socionics. It's a little bit more of a long shot, but it I think it can happen for some reasons, is the SEI. Okay, that's SI dominant with FE. Um, the reason that one can happen sometimes, I've seen some SEIs come across as very feeling, very emotional, very sensitive, describe themselves that way. And, depending on who's hearing this, depending how that kind of plays, that could potentially be seen as like an INFP. I've seen individuals who are SEIs wondering if they're an EII, which is sort of, again, the FI dominant individual in socionics. So those are some common types that could look like each other, or, and so on. Um, I think those are the four main players that are the most likely types. Uh, especially, especially if we're talking about somebody who's female and is an INFP trying to come over towards socionics. If they are male, this changes the game a little bit. The reason I say that is that gender does matter. Gender does make a difference. EII, INFPs, NFs in general are these types that tend to be written down as if you were talking about a female. The profiles sound like they're written for a female person. It doesn't sound like it's a male that you're writing about. So that could also lead to a certain way of thinking there, a certain problem. So that's why the gender in this thing kind of makes a difference. So hopefully that helps until the next one.